Hi, Dr. Saxena here, and been talking on something which is simple things. We were talking on how things moves, what we are trying to quite physiological things. I'll be talking on some physiological things. It is let us. I was being. It so happened yesterday. I was not in the driver's seat, but I was sitting beside my driver, and coming at 8 o'clock in the evening, and I started yawning, and I was only worried was because I was yawning. If the driver also gets into some kind of yawning kind of thing, because it's very infectious, so this will definitely not help the driver in properly driving the car. So yes, we let us start about what is this thing called yawning. When I was working on this, I can always tell you during my radiology days and when I used to do ultrasounds and all, we had picked up one yawning case during the antenatally. The child before it is born, he is yawning, he or she is yawning. So so this has been we used to be always associate it used to be boredom or being tired. Let us see what is the research which is telling us. In fact, there are two schools of thought. One thing, one believes that there is a physiological cause and a physical benefit, which other school believes it's a psychological one triggered, and it was once was used for a communication. So we are trying to see what is basically one popular theory behind the yawning is related to the shallow breathing, shallowness of your breathing, and in other words, the more shallow you breathe, the less oxygen enters your blood. In response, your body triggers a yawn, which increases the amount of air you breathe in and increase your blood oxygen levels. So this was one of the things. There was one more scientist who he has done it was some Princeton University and all that, and he linked yawning to the sleep deprivation, tiredness, or and cooling the brain. So the question is, why do you yawn? Basically, most of the things what we now believe is it may help to cool down your brain. During a yawn, the mouth opens widely, and it and your lungs draw your air, a lot of air. Your eardrum stretches, and your eyes may be slightly closed tightly, triggering tearing. These movements activate an increase in heart rate and blood flow to your facial muscles. These movements, this all things synchronize in helping your body to cool your brain. This is one of the things which I felt this is one of the scientific explanation probably, but there's still not the consensus out. And one theory, yawning occurs usually what we have been always observing when you are slightly more bored or sleepy or after an intense physical activity. It is more of a kind of stress you go through. You had a big work at the day, and slowly that. So this is one thing which we always try to. So what made me understand, because of my work with the hyperbaric pressure, oxygen, and all that, we always try to talk about equalizing the ear pressures to the atmosphere, and usually what is being found that a change in altitude may also trigger yawning, as moving from a high pressure to a low pressure. It causes the air to build up behind the eardrums. So yawning stretches the eardrum and expands the eustachian tubes, helping to equalize the pressure behind your eardrum and relieve the pain or discomfort. So we used to tell people who come to us for hyperbaric oxygen, if they get some kind of middle ear squeeze, they just get some pain. Well, you always go to a flight, when it ascends or it descends, you get that kind of pain. And we always tell to keep some earplugs. It's not right. You need to equalize the pressure by one is yawning, other one is we try to tell the people to close your mouth as well as the nostrils and blow air like that. So that also helps in equalizing the pressure, and most of the people who go into the chamber, they don't get into any problems because of these things which we always, or they just by moving the jaw up and down also helps them equalize the pressures. So there is a big kind of thing, and now I understand what is this yawning, and this is a very unique method of temperature regulation. And we are talking about sleeping. See, even when we talk about sleep, sleep is also one of the forms of thermoregulation, regulating heat distribution and release of body, maintain healthy core temperature. So without adequate sleep, without adequate melatonin sleep and all that, your body may have more difficulty regulating your temperature. So this is one thing which we always try to put across. And yes, I am yes, this yawning is contagious, and whenever there's someone in the surrounding you starts yawning, there he will catch us up. I have seen that very peculiar thing with my Labrador dog also, and it see that I sometimes they also you also get from the animals. There is this response, and we can always tell you there is a big studies which were done. I'm a pet parent, and I understand what what I'm talking about. So there was some thing which was shown. Even the dogs catches the yawning from the humans. It's a very contagious thing, and for some reason we had looked into some people who had some social skills impairment, and people with schizophrenia, autism, and all that. They don't yawn. Contagious yawning is not present in that particular subset of people. So this is one thing which I thought you can always bond to with your dog by yawning, and this is one thing which is present in the dogs. Apart from the dogs, you have got involved chimpanzees and all that. They also yawn, and there was a study which showed researchers placed 29 dogs in the position of observing a human yawning. The second, so they started doing that thing again. So this was, I thought this is one of the things. But I must tell you, the yawning which is continuous, or if it is too much, once in a time, once in a 1 month or something like that, you yawn, or daily sometime, excessive yawning more than one per minute may be attributed to exhaustion, boredom, could be potentially a significant symptom of your medical condition. Gallup has suggested, there was a researcher, Gallup suggested uh, that excessive yawning may be a symptom of health conditions, and that increases brain or core temperature, such as seen as there are some problems with the central nervous system. So we normally look at the people who excessively yawn. My clinical practice, which we try to work it out, probably it is because of some vasovagal response, stimulation of the vagal nerve by anything. It can happen with stimulation of vasovagal response happens with a small pin in the you inject also. They can always have a vasovagal response. Vasovagal response happens with the cold water. It can happen with a pain. There are so many reasons for it. The other thing which the brain dysfunction, such as epilepsy or tumors, or these people also have this excessive yawning. People who had some kind of liver failure, and people on certain medications, they also get into this particular stuff. So we are always talking about yawning, and And this is for me, this was basically, I used to think that this is a kind of exhaustion or sleep, indicating I just want to go for a sleep. It's more bigger than that, and I thought I should share this particular stuff with you. Thank you.